Hmm. Should be vertical. Tube look. Tube. How's it going? How do I sound? Sound pretty decent, it looks. Um, how does chat look now? I do. Good. This. Good. All right. So Twitch said I can have dual streaming going, vertical and horizontal. For have additional canvas, vertical broadcast. How do I get it to show up on? That is the question. I need to change video resolution. The current resolution of 1440p is not supported for this configuration. Expected video resolution is by 1080. Hey Devtron, how's it going? Dude, they keep changing things on me. That's why. Apparently, Twitch allows for dual streaming now, so I can stream vertically. And so I thought I got that set up correctly. But when I go on Twitch, I'm not seeing a vertical stream. And then on top of that, on YouTube, I'm getting yelled at that my stream is in 1440p when it should only be 1080. But I should be able to do 1440p, and I don't know why it's not letting me. Is it my bitrate? Oh, it might be my bitrate, 13500. Do I change that from here, or do I have to restart the stream? Crap. Okay. I guess it won't happen in this stream. But I'm pretty sure I can do 1440p streaming on Twitch now, and I thought I could do both Twitch and YouTube at the same time, but I don't think I have my settings set up correctly. Well, that's annoying. I don't know why Twitch isn't showing up vertically. All right. Regardless, how's the audio? Audio seems fine. Wait a minute. I might be on the wrong spot. I might not know how to use Twitch. Ooh, I don't know how to use Twitch. Here we go. You're watching a dual format stream. Oh, hell yeah. All right, check it out, people. All right. You can watch me vertically, and then when I rotate my phone, oh, that okay, that's awesome. Okay. Okay, so wait for it. You can watch vertically, or when I rotate my phone, it turns horizontal. Okay, so it's official. I can do vertical or horizontal on Twitch in one stream. It's crazy that YouTube doesn't have that yet. So on YouTube, it's literally two separate videos right now. I mean, I know YouTube has a way to do vertical or horizontal in the same stream, but YouTube like automatically cuts off the center of your horizontal display and makes it vertical, which isn't the same thing. Hey, darling, how's it going? So sweet. We are making progress. All right. I'm okay with that. The only thing I have screwed up right now is I guess I need to increase the default bitrate of my main streaming box, my view here, my horizontal view, so that 1440p works correctly on YouTube. So my YouTube viewers, I apologize. You're getting 1080p at best right now. On Twitch, I think because I'm an affiliate now, it is supporting 1440p, so that's kind of cool. Probably not a big deal if your phone is, you know, a small phone. But yeah, so working on getting that stuff figured out. So I kind of want to continue where I left off Friday. I all right, I'll check it out, Dev. But I kind of want to continue where I left off because I started learning Odin very minimally. Literally, we got like Hello Triangle up and running, right? So my thinking here is maybe I can apply what I know about software and um, and see if I can roll Odin into my processes. Pong, maybe today. So I want to see what it takes to stand up like an actual development environment to use Odin. So you guys have kind of seen how I have done that with C++, where I clone a single repository and then I can build to all of my targets within like a VS Code session. And then I can push changes up to GitHub and it will automatically build and potentially automatically deploy. I don't really have anything to deploy to today. Pong. So maybe we can do Pong with that. And if time allows it, I don't know if time will allow it because I don't know Odin, so I'm not going to be able to just like spit this stuff out. But if time allows it, I'll try and get Odin code running on my Steam Deck. See if that works. Sound like a plan? Sounds like a plan to me. I am actually still. Let me drag this into view. I'm still building the WebAssembly for my for the Briarthorn project. I forgot to leave it running last night, so I kicked it on earlier today. So it's currently like, gosh, 11 of 13, and it's probably been running a good 4 hours. We were never getting this going last night. Yeah. This it's the nature of, I mean, this is literally, if you guys have ever tried to copy files from a virtual machine to your host machine, it's fairly slow, and so it's basically doing that for every file it needs to touch for compilation. And there's a ton of files in Qt, so that's the bottleneck. That's what's happening. It's just kind of the nature of the beast. This would be a lot quicker if I was actually doing this in a virtual machine or on a Linux box itself, that kind of thing. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and shut this down, I think. Okay, yes, this is kind of where we left things off. I did a little bit of reading last night, and I guess some of the things I was looking for is kind of built into the language server itself, which is like linting, formatting, things like that. So I am curious what it would take to automate that from a software pipeline perspective. Yeah, that was something I caught on to, Darling, was the overview. Once I realized the overview was kind of where I needed to be, that's when I started to find some very useful information. I did get figured out what it takes to use Raylib with Odin, either statically linked or dynamically linked. And so I have the dynamically linked version here right now. So when I run, we do have our hello triangle. But one thing that I am curious that I don't have the answer for with C++ and CMake, and I think Zig will let you do this too with their build.zig, um, is like automatic installation. And by that I mean like placing your binaries, your configuration files, your assets, what have you, placing them into essentially like Unix defined folders, a bin, a lib, a share, an include, an etc, things like that. Because right now, I had to manually, by hand, copy this DLL file from the Odin package, like the Odin directory. I had to manually copy it and drop it in here. Now, obviously, on Windows, I could have set that, like, set a path variable to it or something like that. But typically, what I do, which I do with Briarthorn, is I like with CMake, I'm able to figure out what my dependencies are and then automatically copy those dependencies into my local like installed directory so that I could essentially make a portable installation of my game. So I'm curious what it would take for that to work with Odin. Does Odin have an equivalent CMake install? No. Odin does not have an equivalent to CMake. Well, I know that. As it intentionally omits traditional make files, I know that. Manages the build process directly through its own command line tool. How to build Odin projects, I know that. Target specific builds. That one's interesting. I'm guessing you could have multiple. I wonder if that's targeting like a package. I bet. How Odin handles packages? No, that isn't quite what I'm asking. If I wanted to install my Odin software to a path prefix, what would that look like? Oh man, friend just texted me. Ivory Coast is currently beating Germany 1-0. That would be insane. To install your Odin software to a specific path prefix, you use the -out compiler flag to specify the exact path and file name for the final execute. Okay, well, I'm just gonna straight up try that then. So Odin build dot dash out colon dot slash build, and then I give it a name. My Odin must have an appropriate extension. .exe. Fatal. Cannot open file myodin.exe. Make dir build. Okay. Okay. But what about a a multi library project? This hurts my head. I'm used to building libraries that you link against, and I don't think that's the Odin way, you know? Hmm. Oh no. I was worried about this. Personally, I think using like shell or batch on Windows as your like configuration scripting, not a fan. It's not portable. Coming from a guy who spends his life or most of his career doing cross-platform development, having to depend on platform specific scripting is my personal hell. Yeah, I like Odin run, Odin build. I get it. I do. I'm just thinking. I'm just exploring, honestly. But I'm also thinking like, what would a larger scale project look like? How do you build a project where you have a number of self-contained libraries? How do you get Odin to build those libraries and build your executable? Maybe I should just try it. Like I could ooh, does wait, no wait. Can Odin cross build? Wait, that would be huge. That would be huge. Odin, I didn't even think about that. Odin build dot target Linux AMD 64 dash out build Linux Odin demo invalid flag. Dang it, man. Oh, I forgot a hyphen. Linking for cross compilation for this platform is not yet supported. Ah. You know, I think I was talking about some of the things I would want from a language if I were to leave C++. I think this is another thing. It's not an easy problem to solve, but I think I basically like I want to be able to do my software development on whatever platform I want to do development on, and then be able to target all of the other platforms, especially for like from an automation perspective. The amount of time and effort that goes into like in like professionally speaking, in production, the amount of time and effort it takes to get hardware or virtual machines stood up for all the platforms you're going to be testing and developing against and automating for. If I could just on Linux say target Windows and build it, be done with it, great. And I don't mean like the MinGW type of solution you would use for C, C++, because that honestly is not great, has its own issues. I think Zig's pretty good at this point. I could be wrong. Again, it's been a few years, but the last I checked, Zig I think would let you target like WebAssembly and Android as well. Wait, does that mean can I not build for WebAssembly from here? I was going to lean on that today. Oh no, that's not a good sign. To do your installation. I just want like hard to explain. Is there a way to know what the build targets are? It's got to be like a list or oh, right here. No, this isn't it. Okay, so this is how I would. I mean, but this is my question, right? If let's say my project is made up of 5 separate executables, is that a thing that Odin does? And I want to tell Odin to just build the entire tree. Does that? Can I get it to produce 5 executables? Oh, right here. Target question mark for a list. Needs quotes apparently. All supported targets. Wazzy. There's Wazzy right there. I honestly I only for a brief moment did I consider asking about Jai, if that's how you pronounce it. My issue is I don't like I don't consider myself a game developer yet because I've never like released a game. I'm trying to. Um so I don't know if there's any real feedback I can give for beta testing Jai. And it sounded like you really should only be signing up for the closed beta testing if you think you can provide useful feedback. I I've had my head in C++ a lot. I would consider myself fairly well versed in C++ specifically. I would not say I am a language expert, if that makes sense. Because there's a lot of subtlety that goes into like syntax design of a language or maybe even performance design of a language and why you want to write your code a certain way. And I just don't think I would add anything to the table for that. So I'll just wait until it's like publicly available and then we'll play with it. I'm not seeing comments from vertical. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Vertical. Where's my vertical? Nope. I'm seeing. Oh. Oh, you came from vertical. Wait a minute. Why is my vertical not showing? Oh, stand by, stand by. I might know what's going on there. It's this. Select my live sources. Already added. Oh, okay, yeah, this was not added. Here we go. All right, there you are. So now that should pop up in OBS. Hopefully. I've been having some real issues with getting this stuff to play nice with each other. I don't know why. Well, it's also like kind of early for the doom scrollers, I think. There's not a lot of doom scrollers right now, so we'll get them. Don't worry. No, thanks for letting me know, Mister K. There was definitely an issue. I did not have it connected correctly. Okay, so this tells me I should be able to do target Wazzy Wasm 32. Oh, really? So- Okay. Oh man, this does not hold your hand, does it? So it gives me the WebAssembly, but that's not enough. I need I need like the initial shell, the initial HTML shell file to load the WebAssembly. Oh man, I don't know how to do that. I've always had CMake auto generate that for me, or Mscripton. I've had Mscripton automatically generate that for me. What's JavaScript WASM? Is it going to turn my code into JavaScript? I'm curious. Maybe that's yeah. Okay. So it can do WebAssembly on Windows, but it can't do Linux, or was I just doing it wrong? Maybe I was doing it wrong. Linux, AMD 64. Linking for cross compilation for this platform not yet supported. Frick. Okay. So I think a dev container is in order. Oh, this is okay. So I'm not. Oh, is this does Odin only work if I have the compilers installed on my computer? Is Odin not like the compiler itself? It invokes other compilers. That is possible. I have a bunch of stuff installed on this computer just from the nature of everything I do. All right, let's do a dev container. 'Cause- 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 'cause Yeah, I know the guide said it needed it, but I thought that was just for building the project. Maybe I read that wrong. Release requirements. Odin needs the MSVC compiler. Okay. See, this makes sense. Like needing the Windows SDK makes sense because that's where you're going to get access to your Win32 APIs. But needing the actual compiler is a little surprising. Makes me wonder how Odin works under the hood. You need Xcode, which again, Xcode kind of makes sense because you get the Mac SDK with Xcode. That makes sense. Unix install Clang. Interesting. I did end up taking a look at Air LLM. It's definitely something worth looking into. I was looking at a couple of other open source models, and one thing I'm realizing, I don't have the hardware to run a model. Like, if it would just be really bad if I tried to run a model on my current hardware. Which, I mean, honestly, my current hardware isn't terrible, right? I think I've got like decent hardware. Got a 5950X, 64 gigs of memory, a 3090 Ti on this computer. On the other computer, which is technically more of my streaming computer, it has a 99950 X3D. But apparently, these models they want you to have like a terabyte of memory or something, which is insane. Yeah, I'd have to run a small one. Yeah, it just wouldn't be like very fast. Memory of the main GPU is the main. Um, 24 gigs of dedicated memory, 32 shared. Or wait, I don't know how to read this. 56 gigs of GPU memory. That's insane. That's a lot of memory. Okay, so it does appear that I need compilers for Odin to work. All right, it's that's a minor knock against Odin at the moment. Maybe long term they will have Odin as its own compiler, but I would love for it to be as minimally invasive as possible for me to just get up and running, which means not having to install my own tools. So that means I think I'm just going to copy and paste my dev container environment from probably Awin, because Awin I have running on all the platforms. So I'll probably just do the same thing. I'll just copy this, paste it here. So this will be Ubuntu 2604. Just some of the standard stuff you need to get access to tools. GCC 16. Well, this said you just needed Clang, right? Does it not use? Oh, I bet it's built on top of LLVM, isn't it? So it probably doesn't need GCC. No. Ooh, what does it want me to do here? Oh, it wants me to install Odin. Does Odin come with Ubuntu by chance? That would be a little easier. Uh, okay, so I don't need GCC 16. This will give me Clang 22. Do we think we need Inscriptin? I'm gonna comment this out for now, and then we'll just try it. Oh, and Raylib dependencies from Awin. So we'll see if we need that as well. I'll be curious. Probably do. All right, yeah, let me know. I am curious. I actually I told my boss, I was like, hey, I might one of these weekends when I have a lot of free time, I might look into just like using one of my computers to turn it into a large language model like that I can self-host. But then I started looking at some of the bigger open source models, and I panicked. It literally it's like, yeah, minimum requirements is like 768 gigabytes of RAM, like at least four of these eight H series NVIDIA GPUs or something like that, and I'm like, huh? I can't afford that. That's the cost of my house. Are you kidding me? Okay, let's. I think that's all I need. Let's. I'll copy this as well. Feels weird not needing any VS Code extensions. Don't need VC package. Okay. Hop into. Hopefully it builds first try. You're okay. So you guys are, some of you are running some smaller models now. Is it how do I want to ask this? Do you have to be careful with your prompts, knowing that the performance isn't going to be there? Or can you prompt away, but the results won't be as good? Now, I like, even professionally, I'm not doing prompts where I like enter something in and then I walk away for 4 hours and come back. It's more like, hey, this is how I want to architect my code. This is how the APIs are going to interact. I just need you to spit out some implementation detail. And then this is how I need to test it, that kind of thing, which is usually anywhere from like 10 to 15 minutes at a time. So the results are the same. It just takes longer to get to the result. Yeah, I need to smarten myself up on that for sure. Okay, so I think we're in the container. So I think step one is see if I can just literally install Odin from here. My guess is no. Ooh, my guess might be wrong. Or Odin is a whole other tool that I'm not aware of. Hang on. Oh my god, it's wanting to install a ton of stuff. A ton of stuff. Holy crap. Opus. Lib Opus. Is that audio? Sounds like audio. PNG. Well, okay, so these dependencies would make sense if all of the vendored packages that come with Odin have a dependency on this stuff, which it very well could be, especially something like SDL3, which I know comes with Odin. Which is like, I'm very familiar with a lot of these dependencies just because of like Qt. also has a dependency on a lot of this stuff. Hell, this has a dependency on Qt. What the hell? Wait a minute. I was thinking, for some reason, I was thinking Odin had like bindings for Qt, which would be insane. Hey, Switch, how's it going? I mean, I think it would be very possible to use like Qt as a UI layer for sure, especially if Odin supports FFI. Does it? Odin language. Yeah. So I like this wouldn't be any different than Briarthorn, where I would build like a C++ library and then link it into Qt. I would just do the same thing and then you like wrap the C API from this into some Qt objects and expose it to QML. You could literally have an Odin backend for your game or application or what have you. All right, I assuming this is what I think it is. It's an insane amount of dependencies. Is Odin in Ubuntu what I think it is? I'm afraid to hit yes. It needs 1.6 gigs. Something's off. Something feels weird. You know what? It's a Docker. It's a Docker container. We can hit yes and then we can just leave the container and see what happens. Well, so part of my suspicion with what I'm seeing right now, which is why I'm okay with saying yes. The way I build my Docker containers is with minimal like dependencies. Normally, when you do like an apt install and then you list what you want to install, it's going to automatically grab recommended dependencies as well. That's why I have this no install recommends all over the place. The downside to this is you now have to like maybe you're used to getting lib standard C++ or whichever one it is that comes with GCC. Maybe you're used to getting lib C++ or something, right? When you install Clang 22, but with no install recommends, you might not get that by default. And so it minimizes what gets installed in your container, but because of that, you now have to go in and manually install anything that's missing yourself. So it's possible that because I'm doing these no install recommends, when I go to install Odin and not say no install recommends, it's going to grab everything that like touches everything. I'm guessing. Yeah, I you might be right. It might be better to build Odin anyway. That way you get the latest and greatest. I mean, if I'm using Odin, I'm not, at least for me, I'm not necessarily looking for stability. I'm looking for the latest and greatest features and bug fixes and security vulnerability patches, that kind of thing. So this says Odin 205. Is that legit? Okay, so I'm gonna delete all this. We're gonna do a build Odin build dot dash out slash, oh wait, I gotta make dir build Odin build dot dash out build Odin demo. Oh no. What is this? Guys? Is Odin an already existing application? What is this? I know why it has a dependency on Qt now. This is very clearly a Qt interface. Oh no. What have I done? What is Odin? All right, well, that was a mistake, but that's okay because this is a Docker container. So I can just pop out, close the, let's see, reopen locally. Well, let's go ahead and clone it, I guess. Build from source. Install Clang LLVM. Ooh, I'm using 22. You think we'll be good? We'll probably be good. It could be that LLVM. Make sure LLVM config Clang are able to be found in your path. I think Clang can. I don't know if LLVM config can. Crap. Yeah, I think that's where I went wrong. Is there's clearly some kind of package in Ubuntu or Debian called Odin, which I have no idea what it is. But apparently, running Odin build dot dash out was a legit command because it ran and opened a GUI. Okay, Odin's gone now. Odin is gone. So I think the real solution here is let's just clone it and build it from source. Odin. I already forgot what I'm doing. Odin language. In order to compile for WebAssembly, Odin calls out to the WebAssembly LD for linking. This linker is included in the LLD formula. Install it through brew install LLD. We're good. I already have LLD. Check it out. WASM LLD or WASM LD. Do I have WASM LD? Evoke LD.LLD. Oh, LD.LLD. Maybe I don't have it. I thought I did. Oh, I have it, but I don't. Wait, no, I do have it. It's right here. Yeah, I do have it. What the hell? LLD is a generic driver. Oh, it's just telling me what I can invoke instead. All right, I'm assuming that's good. What's the other one I needed? LLVM config. Crap. Um. There it is. Okay. So I need to. What do you think? Do I need code coverage for Odin? That's a good find, Buffer. Interesting. In order to compile for WebAssembly, Odin calls out to the WebAssembly linking. This linker includes LD formula. Install it through brew install. Yeah, I don't know. I wonder if I need to make sure WASM-LD is installed. Not a thing. I might have to grab it from in Scripton, which I have right here if we need it. So it doesn't. This is a little more annoying than Zig, I will admit. I think with Zig, I literally just download the Zig executable and I'm good to go. Right? Wrong? A little more setup here. This feels more like C++, where I have to get all of these dependencies installed and make sure they're in my path. Blah blah blah. Okay, so I need to clone. Wait, what do I have to do here? If you want to specify an explicit LLVM version, I don't think I need to do that. Okay, let's just see if I can build this here, and if I can put it in the Docker file. Except I don't want to do it here. I want to do it here. Git clone. If this Odin experience works out and I'm able to like at a minimum, put a Pong application or something up on GitHub, I might try and do the same thing with a couple of other languages just to see what the experiences are like. Um, Git LFS not found. Ooh, do I need Git LFS? Did it say that? Okay, it doesn't say I need Git LFS anywhere here, but it clearly. I don't know. Okay. Git clone check. Run git clone. Forgot what it was. Already forgot what it was. Change into Odin. Optionally use git checkout for an official release. That's probably fair. Looks like they are calling releases dev. I'll be honest, I am not used to that. Usually, if I see the tag dev, it means like the development branch and not like the stable or release branch. But it appears that is what they are doing. So I want dev 2606. Dev. Oh, it literally says "son of a biscuit." It helps if you actually read, guys. Yeah, I could just download the binary itself. I just don't feel like it. I get a little bit more choice. So if there's ever an issue and I want to get like the latest, maybe there's a bug fix that comes in that is like committed to the GitHub repo, but I don't have access to the what was I trying to say? But if I set up my Docker file here to download, extract, install versus setting up my Docker file to download, build, install, the build install option gives me the flexibility to be like, oh hey, there's a new feature, there's a bug fix, there's something there that I need for my project. Then I can come in here, make like a single line change, and I get it. Whereas if that new feature comes in via a binary download install, I have to wait for someone else to make a release for me to get access to that binary. So, generally speaking, if it's not a heavy lift, if it's not difficult to build the release myself, I prefer to go that route. Whereas, it's not always the case for everything you use. Some things are actually really complicated to get building and running, to get all the flags defined and to get it exactly what you need. That for sure, I would just install it I would just download install. But if it's easy, I prefer the flexibility and the control. Also, I've never built it and I'm curious, so I am also just learning how to build it as we go. Make release native. If an atomic H error occurs, see the following section about it. Okay. Make release native. Make release native. I mean, it's using make, so I'm assuming I can still do release native, even though it doesn't say is using make. And then a symbolic link. Gotta. And yeah, okay. This is fine. Optionally, add the Odin folder to your shell's path or symlink the Odin binary to a folder that is in your shell's path. So that's what it's doing. Note on Atomic H. Odin compiler relies on C++'s Atomic H for atomic memory ordering. Some operating systems need some more steps to install this. Find out which package you need to install. This really feels like Odin is almost like a thin wrapper around C++. All right, so I'm going to now and just try and run this command locally in the container instead of having to rebuild the container over and over to debug. So I'm in the Odin folder. It wants me to do git checkout dev 2026.06. That did not work. Oh, was this because my clone failed from LFS? Also, I'm in a detached head state, which is fine. Yeah, that's fine. All right, let's do it. Make minus how many? Actually, I don't know how many. I assume I have at least 16. I'll do 16. Oh. I have to run the script. Am I crazy? For what it's worth, as far as I can tell, Odin's official instructions are not telling me to run a script. But if there is a script I need to run, I can do that. Same issue. Missing user lib LLVM 22. Now it is possible because I'm on Clang 22. It is very possible that Odin isn't like set up to find version 22 files correctly. Highly possible. In fact, you know what? We can eliminate this right now. We will make this as easy on us as possible. I don't need the latest Clang because I'm not using C++ modules. So I can just use whatever comes out of the box. So I don't need this. I can just say, hey, give me Clang. I don't need Clang format, tidy. I don't think I need Clang D. What does Odin actually say to do? I thought it said to install Clang and LLVM. Okay. Clang, LLVM. I shouldn't need any of this. We're just going to make this super simple. Let's not do no install recommend so that it comes with everything. Release native, checkout. I don't know if this is right. This was AI autocomplete, so I have no idea. But that gives us a starting point. And I'm going to rebuild this, use the bathroom, and fill up my water glass. I'll be right back, guys. That can't be good. What'd you guys do? I gave you guys one job. Oh, dang it. Is it my fault? It can't be right. I don't make mistakes. Gotta be something else. Get clone, get clone. Huh, how'd that get there? Weird. Vicious. Okay, it looks like we're getting version 21 with Ubuntu 26. All right, I'm switching to music on you guys. This is putting me to sleep. Still the middle of the day for me. What am I? What kind of playlist is this? I was looking at some like open source libraries out there that have been written in Odin. I was trying to think if I can come up with a way to access Twitch's API for law or for chat information, that kind of thing. It does look like there is a fairly well maintained Odin HTTP library that I might be able to make use of, which would be kind of cool. All right, we shall try. Oh wait, it's successfully built. That means this worked. Does that mean I have Odin? It does not. So, these binaries must just be in the GitHub repo. Interesting. Yeah, that's a lot of work. That means that all of these binaries have to be like maintained. That's a lot of work. I need to add. Hmm. What? I don't like when I'm getting temporary files in my source tree. I feel like I should be able to specify all of that to go under like build or something like that. I also don't know what's going on here. It's almost like it thinks window is not null failed. Is this failing because I'm in a WSL environment? I have ran Raylib WSL before without any issues. So if the window is failing to be created, you would get an assertion that the window is null. Well, apparently, this isn't playing too nice with my WSL environment. I don't know why. Unless I'm missing, like, I don't know. GLFW using Wayland. Do I need Wayland installed? I'm not really getting any info here. So that the window is null. Is this something AI can fix or look at? All right. I'll try. I'm gonna see if Copilot will do anything with, and maybe not charge me $50 to do it. Clearly, the window is failing to create in my Linux environment. I am trying to build and run a Raylib application via Odin, but I get the above assertion. It seems that the application is failing to construct a window in my Linux WSL environment. Could I be missing dependencies or configuration? Well, I mean, like I said, I've gotten, I mean, some of you have seen it, right? I've gotten GUI applications to work in this exact environment, right? I mean, hell, Briarthorn, very complex Windows GUI API. It works. So I'm just wondering if I'm missing a dependency, like an implicit dependency versus an explicit dependency. I think this is something AI would be useful for tracking down for me because it would know like what to scan for and things like that. Having never used Odin, I wouldn't even know where to begin. But I mean, it's straight up. I'm getting an assertion in a C library here in GLFW, which is window creation. I haven't really been using GitHub Copilot since they changed their pricing policy, so I am a little worried about how much this is going to cost to run. I'm going to pull up my usage here and see and watch it in real time. All right, what is today? June 20th. All right, I have already consumed 13 cents. Okay, so far this has cost me 13 cents, like actual money to figure out. But it worked. It found the issue. So, this is the question. It says I am going to install the core X11 OpenGL runtime packages in the container and rerun. Now, I did say that it was failing to create the window. From there, I was also in my head thinking, oh, I wonder if I'm missing some X11 stuff. So now the question is, was it worth me not trying to install X11 or paying 13 cents to have this fix it for me? That's insane. 13 cents. That's actually insane. That's a lot. This was faster, but oh man. Is this still running? No, it's not. Is that what it's saying? Not the highest performance in a WSL environment. What were the changes? Did it? Okay, okay, there we go. See, I thought I already had. I was going to say, I thought I already had Raylib dependencies installed. I don't know. I'm gonna move this though. All right, so this cover Cinerama, lib cursor. I guess I don't need the dev packages because Odin comes with Raylib pre-built. I just need the runtime. Okay. Want to? I think I want to rebuild. Wonder how the Germany Ivory Coast game is going. Ooh, tied 1-1 with 14 minutes remaining. About 20 minutes remaining with overtime or stoppage time. Yeah, this I was hoping I, I didn't know much about Odin. I was hoping Odin would be a little bit cleaner to stand up, but so far this is like everything I'm doing is exactly what I would be doing with C++. So at least for this, not really a benefit in my mind. At least the initial like setup. Now for a lot of people, you're just, you're going to get your little project up and running and be done with it. But I wanted to do a little bit more with that, automate it. Means a Docker file anyway. I'll have to try this with Zig as well. I think I'll have to try this with Zig, and we'll see how much of a pain it is for Zig. Does Zig come with its own like built-in vendor packages, or is it lean more on? I think it leans more on other people providing that, but then I think you can use Zigzon, the Zigzon, as a way to like point to other people's repositories to pull in dependencies. I think. I haven't even gotten to the WebAssembly part yet. That's the whole reason I wanted to do this was the WebAssembly. I saw there's a game jam coming to itch.io. I considered doing that on stream, but I don't know if I have the time to really put into it. But it looked interesting. Where would they have that announcement on their website? From the itch.io blog? Huh. I don't see it now. Yeah, I'm hitting a roadblock with the WASMs. I'm not having any luck with the WASMs. Very serious Juniper Dev Game Jam. I swear I saw. Wait, is it Godot? I don't know. Regardless. Okay, let's try this again. I gotta figure out what to do with these core files. I assume they are like intermediate build files. Really don't like that they're not in my build directory. That's kind of annoying. Um, maybe I have to do it the other way. Maybe I do make directory build, change into build. Then I do Odin build dot dot. Did I already forget how to do this? Okay, now those core files aren't there. First try. We cut everything else out. If I ever make this a YouTube video, we got it running in first try. And everyone agrees. Cool. All right. GG's. Okay, so oh god. WebAssembly. WebAssembly. I mean, you're not wrong. I probably could add Odin to my resume. Would anyone care? Maybe if I lived in California. Wouldn't surprise me if there's a shop or two out there. Wasm LD not found. Crap. Okay. Um, I didn't. Extension, don't I? Okay. So I have a WebAssembly file, but like I said before, I actually don't know. Usually, CMake or Emscripten provides the HTML file for me so that I can like load the WebAssembly. I don't know how to do that. I can definitely have AI. Like AI will for sure know how to do it. But I am curious if Odin provides something for that. Odin generate WASM shell file. Generate WebAssembly. Use the JavaScript WebAssembly or the freestanding WebAssembly flag. Maybe that's what I need. Create the build shell script. I really hate that you need a script file for all this. Really do not like it. Copy the required Odin JavaScript runtime glue. So this is manual. And this is what I'm talking about. This was why I was wanting to know if Odin had a way, like in CMake, where I can script up these copy options using Odin, not using Bash. Bash is not portable for Windows. Yeah, I mean it is called a shell file though. Like I know it's probably gets confusing, but that is what it's called for mscripting, which is why I was using that word. Okay, so according to this, it should be in my Odin installation. This directory is for use when targeting the JavaScript WASM32 target and the packages that rely on it. The JavaScript target assumes that the WASM output will be ran with a web browser rather than a standalone virtual machine. In the virtual machine cases, either WASM or freestanding WASM should be used accordingly. Okay, so that's one thing I need to change. Okay, so this is what I need. So this is the JavaScript required to load the WebAssembly file that I need to stick inside an HTML web page. Assume I have to. It's probably been um how many years? It's been at least I'll say 20 years since I have handwritten HTML. Honestly, don't know if that's good enough or not. Oh wait, I need the um I need Odin.javascript. Hang on. I have no idea who this is. I've never heard this before in my life. Lizzie Lizzie McAlpine ceilings. It might be a cover. Okay, so this runs. I don't know enough about HTML to know if like does this need to be under like a body or something like that? Here, I'm just gonna. Can you fix up my index.html file to ensure it correctly loads and runs the Odin demo as a file? Yeah, I mean I have this in Alwyn. I guess I could have done that, right? Where is it? App Alwyn. Thought I had it in Alwyn. Okay, that was a little more in depth than I was expecting. Let's see if that works. WebAssembly instantiate import wasm libraylib.a module is not an object. Okay. That's fair. Does it expect it to be in a WebAssembly folder? Yeah, this isn't just so you're aware, I am using like the way the live preview works is it's not like previewing the file per se. I don't know. I like I said, I have used and some of you have seen me successfully do this. Use the live preview extension to render all of my WebAssembly. So I'm just following the same process I've always done. Now, I do think there is something wrong if I actually have to do it this way. What is it? Python. God, it's been a minute. HTTP server. 8080 or is it? Oh my God, I don't remember how to do this. Is it this? Invalid HTTP. Let me see if I can find my it's almost certainly the HTML file that's probably dorked up. Have it on my computer anymore? I don't know what import number 0 wasm libraylib Odin.a module is not an object or a function. That need to be in my path? Let me copy this. Here's so you're thinking like here? Index, HTML, VS Code, live preview, line 20. So it's catching this error when it tries to run my WebAssembly file. Run WebAssembly error, instantiate. Module is not an object or a function. Running via live preview, I get the following error. I know Odin comes with Raylib packaged in its vendor folder in opt/Odin. Oh, this isn't a Git repo yet. I can't just like stage my changes. Check the network tab for what it's trying to fetch. I'll be honest, I'm not a web dev, so I don't even know what I'm looking at here. I assume this shows what is happening like traffic wise. Stop recording. So do I hit refresh? Oh, I do. All right, see, I can figure things out. I can figure things out. Okay, so with the Odin.javascript file, it's trying to fetch Odin demo WebAssembly. And is it most recent first, or is it most recent? Okay, this is pending. This is WebSocklet. This is interesting. I didn't know you could debug websites like this. This is kind of cool. So it's trying to, it's trying to load the WebAssembly. I think we see what's happening, right? It's trying to load the WebAssembly file that has a dependency on libraylib, and it's failing to load it. But wouldn't this be statically linked? Am I crazy? I found libraylib-a. It's a static archive, not a JavaScript shim. So the missing import object must be synthesized in the page. I'll inspect the WASM import table directly. I confirmed Odin's vendor raylib ships only the .archive file here, so I'm checking the README build notes next to find the expected browser glue step for WebAssembly. I now have the exact missing imports under module wasm libraylib. I'll add a lightweight browser raylib shim in index that supplies these functions under a canvas, then pass it as an extra. I'll be honest, guys. I am not a web dev. Extra foreign imports to Odin run webs. See, Emscripten/cmake would have just given me a file that works, darn it. The error is from missing WebAssembly imports for Raylib. Your WebAssembly expects functions under module name WASMlib Raylib and Odin.js only provides Odin core imports by default. I fix this by updating the index file to add a Raylib browser shim, pass it as an extra import to Odin run WebAssembly. What I changed. Let's see if it works. Well, it's not crashing. It's not showing anything, but it's not crashing. I can't right click and look at, like, inspect it anymore. So something has gone wrong. Let's look at the HTML file, I guess. I don't know what it actually added. Raylib imports. Holy frick. I don't think this was the answer. Holy shit. This is not the answer. There's no way. It literally took my code. All right. Here's a lesson to learn, guys. Here's a lesson to learn. Make sure, if you are going to use AI, one, make sure you use a good one and not auto at a 10% discount. Two, please make sure you have Git and your repo is instantiated, because now I don't have a way to really undo these changes easily because I didn't have Git set up. This stupid discount AI model, whatever this is using by default, freaking injected straight up JavaScript code from the code I wrote in Odin, and it's like, hey, it works. Does VS Code have rollback like cursor? I don't know, maybe. What's rollback? It's not something I've ever used if it has it. How would I find out? I mean, I could do a control Z, problem solved. All right. So that was dumb. Let's actually have it use a real model. Okay, I am curious. I have Claude for what it's worth, but I haven't used Claude through GitHub Copilot. So I'm going to see how much this costs. All right. I am up to 42 cents for today. We'll see how much this costs. Yeah, I'm Darling, was it Darling? Yes. I'm aware, guys, I am aware that templates exist. I am aware. I also kind of enjoy seeing if AI can figure this out, because it is kind of cool seeing these tools do this. And for what it's worth, I have my own index. I just don't remember where I put it. Oh, it might be here actually. Oh no, wait. It gets auto generated. I had one for I had a custom one for Awin at one point. I don't know if I still have it somewhere. Yeah, I don't know. Can you fix Is the template here somewhere, right? Isn't there like examples? There's a cheat sheet. No, this isn't it. Let's see examples. I'm not really seeing. I mean, I guess technically all of these are WebAssembly, right? Is there a dark mode to this? I apologize. There is. I don't know how to do it. This only shows the. Yeah, this only shows the. But honestly, I bet this uses CMake, and if it's using CMake, it's probably auto-generating the HTML page. No. Oh, it uses. Oh, it does. Or it has a custom make file as well. Right here. The shell file. And it exists in this project under source. Oh, Raylib has its own shell file. We might be able to just copy it. Open graph meta tags for sharing. Twitter meta tags for sharing. Favicon. Mscriptin. Honestly, I don't know if we can just copy it or not. I don't know enough about WebAssembly. I mean, a lot of this is just building up a custom. This loads a JavaScript file called FileSaver from some website. That's kind of scary. The more I'm learning about web dev, like this just straight up pulls a script in from another location. That's interesting. I don't see module. Go. God. After I just talked about it being scary, pulling in stuff from websites. Okay, so it's looking at. Oh, hey, who called out Carl Zelensky? Whoever called out Carl Zelensky, the LLM went there. That's hilarious. that that's crazy. That just blows my mind. All right, let's see how much this has cost me so far. Uh, it's not bad. 13 cents. Could be worse. That's kind of funny. I don't know what the game is, but there's a long cat and a short cat. Source code, print, long, quit. Maybe that's all it is. Hey, you can quit. Oh, but okay. Yeah, that's fair. The following. Wait, this is. Wait. Inscriptum is required? I don't know, guys. Hopefully, no one here is a Odin fan. But if I have to go through this level of effort to get stuff up and running, I would rather just do it with a language I am comfortable with and I know how to get up and running. Like I'm not saying Odin is worse than C++, but I am saying it's very similar to get stood up and to get figured out. But I've already spent the time and effort to figure all that out with like CMake and all the tool chains that come with it. I haven't even gotten to like writing code yet. I'm not gonna quit yet, but I don't know. I was hoping I don't know why I was thinking Odin was like a like batteries included type of language where like it literally does everything for you. It'll build cross platform, all that kind of stuff. I think batteries included I misunderstood. Odin just meant it provides you a number of like vendor libraries, I think. It feels like a C++ wrapper. That's probably not true. It probably talks down on it more than it should. But everything I'm doing with Odin, I would have to do the exact same thing with C++. Yeah, I get it, guys. I mean, I need him scripting for Raylib when doing C++. It's the exact same thing. That's all I'm saying is I was for some reason, I don't know why I thought that, but based on what I was seeing with Odin, I just thought Odin made that a lot easier. Turns out it's exactly the same as it is for getting C++ up and running with WebAssembly. Like no hate or anything. I just honestly I thought it was going to be easier than what I've experienced so far. Now I don't know if there's any other languages that do make it easier. Now I know there's like obviously Dart, Flutter, that makes it easier, but that's more of a framework than a language. Um yeah, I don't know. It's also weird that like I would have thought and maybe I missed it. I may have missed it, honestly. I probably didn't look at the documentation well enough. Some reason I didn't see an mscripton requirement. Overview. So my question comes again, and maybe this Carl Zelinsky example provides it. Um, and that is the need to specify the shell file. Like, how do I tell mscripton this is the shell file I want to use with Odin? And this is my fear. I bet it's here. Yeah. Dang it. Yeah, okay. So this is the real answer that I had about CMake. Odin doesn't use CMake. Odin uses platform specific scripting. I get the appeal. It's definitely a like a lighter weight tool chain. I wouldn't even say it's a lighter weight tool chain though, because you still need Clang and LLVM. That's not lightweight by any means. Now you're on to something, Silence. That's what I'm saying. I almost like, if like I said, if I'm going to like eventually, ooh, this looks pretty. If I'm going to change, if I ever like want to land on a new language that's like, hey, I'm done with C++, yes, I kind of want something a little more opinionated and cross-platform. I just like I'm getting to a point where I just want it to work. I don't want to spend, all this time setting all this up myself necessarily. Obviously, this is perfectly fine. I have to do this exact same thing with C all the time, which is why I want something different. But with the help of Odin, it found the Zelensky example. And this is also a different not a different mindset. I'm just so familiar with all of the different like open source projects that exist for C++. It hasn't really occurred to me to be like, oh, hey, maybe there's already a solution for this with Odin, and I just need to Google. Curious what all I'm missing. Did I actually have to install? So there's the shell file. There's Odin.js. Instantiate WebAssembly. Odin imports. Index.webassembly. Index.web. That makes sense. I mean, and Emscripten, I know, at least for me, Emscripten is also used to compile C++ to WASM binary, right? And Raylib is C. I don't know. I feel like maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm completely off base because it's been a couple years. But doesn't Zig literally do what I'm talking about? Am I wrong? Doesn't Zig like target all these other different platforms and will actually compile without needing these other compilers on your machine? Doesn't it like come built in or something like that? Maybe I'm wrong. I think my early experience with Zig, thinking it could do that, was making me also think that all of these other new languages coming out also do that. And that might be a poor assumption on my part. Okay. So a shell file that is predefined a build script. I legitimately do not like having to use a shell and a batch file to do all of this stuff. So when I was talking about this Friday, and I'm like, hey, how does Odin handle this? Turns out it doesn't. Yeah, like, oh, man. But you got to remember, I'm coming from a cross-platform background with C++ and CMake, and so CMake, I write the script once and it works on all the platforms. Like I could be wrong, but I legitimately think Zig even builds for Android. Ah, man, now I might just be way off base here. Do you need Emscripten for WebAssembly when building with Zig? No, you do not need Emscripten to build WebAssembly with Zig. The Zig compiler features native out-of-the-box support for compiling directly to WebAssembly. It handles code generation and linking natively, producing self-contained WebAssembly binaries without requiring any heavy third-party toolchains. When to skip Emscripten, use native Zig. And then what was the other question? Do you need the Android NDK uh, to build with Zig? Short answer, no, you do not strictly need the Android NDK to compile pure Zig code for Android, but yes, you will need it if your project links against Android's libc or requires native system headers. So that's been my experience with newer languages from a couple of years ago. It blew my mind that Zig, I can literally just install it via this extension over here in VS Code, and then I immediately, right away, get everything I need to build the application, pull in dependencies, configure the application with different settings on different platforms, and it's all portable. So, that being my experience, I was like, ooh, Odin's a new language. It probably does similar stuff. Turns out it doesn't. Turns out it's probably more focused on just, being a compiler and being, a different language, which is perfectly fine. Most languages are like this, right? I just wasn't expecting that. I think I got it. I don't know why I got it in my head that like all new languages were doing this when clearly they're not. Oh, Raylib on Zig would also need Emscripten. That makes sense, right? Because Raylib is a C library. Okay, so that makes sense. So then are you saying I could trying to think. So I could build an application in pure Odin and I wouldn't need Emscripten? That makes sense because Emscripten comes with GLFW. So if I used Odin's window creation library, how would that work? Actually, I actually don't know how. I don't. Is it JavaScript? Like, what creates the window of a web browser? Look at Carl 2D for an example. Okay. Okay. Pretty cool. I like the I didn't ask for it, but the AI gave me a little like colored border around the window, so that's kind of cool. Okay. So man, I actually really am I really don't like needing a script. At least it's not a makefile script, I guess. I'll give it credit there. Unless it's like generating one that I'm not aware of. But yeah, credit where credit's due. It's not a makefile script. I've never been a fan of makefile. So the other downside, or not downside, I don't have the integration with VS Code that I would like because I would like to hit F7 and have it build. But I guess I'm gonna need to create a launch file for that. That makes sense. That totally makes sense. I would be curious to see. I mean, it's how I learn, right? I like to see how other people manage bigger projects, and it looked like there was a big project that is using Odin. Is it on the homepage? Yeah, like these guys right here, Jenga, Embergen, Geogen, Liquidgen. Are they open source? Can we look at their code? It looks like all of this is written in Odin. Might not be open source. I would love to see like how they manage their projects. And all of these are going to be little examples, aren't they? This isn't even the Odin language, is it? This is a whole different thing. Is there? How do you? Is this the only thing Odin is showing off? This looks cool. It's gonna be proprietary as well. Okay. How old is Odin new? How do you find like examples of other people's projects? I'm aware of this one. And this is where I realized, oh no, they're just doing. That's a bummer. This doesn't even provide a instructions on how to build. I assume it's just build dot. Oh no. The Discord has a channel for it. Is this one of those situations where all the knowledge is trapped inside Discord so no one can like index for it online? I've read about how Discord has become a black hole of knowledge that no one else can access because you have to be aware that the Discord channel exists and then all the knowledge is contained within there instead of like being searchable via the internet. So I guess like there is a fair assumption here with a this is a bigger project I have found, but there's a fair assumption here that if you come in here knowing Odin, then the answer to I keep thinking you build this, but you don't, do you? You probably clone this into a directory in your own project. Is that like the Odin way of doing things? You treat it like a vendor package, so you're not really building it and linking against it. I can't get my head around that. It hurts my brain. I've lived my entire career having to like build projects, find them, link against them. Hey, El Guapo. Interesting. Oh, okay. Okay, so at the end of the day, the answer was you need Emscripten because of GLFW in the window right there. And then you use Emscripten, you specify your shell file. Scripten should generate or build WebAssembly for. What's this one doing? Is this the JavaScript for my shell file? Holy JavaScript, Batman. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, this is okay, so this is OpenGL and GLFW. This is a whole kit and caboodle. Holy crap. This is like the entirety of OpenGL inside of a single file. Oh man. Okay. So, where's my Docker file? Docker file needs updated to include it. It includes it, so that's good. Okay, we're setting this up. That's good. We're still adding our arraylib dependencies. That's good. We have this build script file that will find the EMSDK, set up the shell environment. We define an output directory. Make it if it doesn't exist. We run build targeting JavaScript WebAssembly. Build mode object. Interesting. We define the raylib WebAssembly lib file as env.o. Interesting. So we're just building intermediate WebAssembly files. Hang on. Let's clean this up and see if this still builds. A raylib alternative made in Odin and can just build for web. That's kind of cool. Is it like similar API? Carl 2D. Oh, so this guy is okay. So hang on. Is this guy kind of like all in on Odin? Hot reload? Are you kidding me? Oh, he wrote the book. Oh my. Okay, so this guy is Odin. If there's a developer to be named Odin, it's this guy then. Hot reload? Are you kidding me? Wait a minute. I might be warming up to this. An Odin Raylib game template with hot reloading pre-setup. Mac? I'll have to play around with this. This looks promising. Atlas build for Odin games, Odin on the web, Odin Seedbind Gen. Okay, so Carl 2D. So he's doing his own thing, kind of like Raylib being named after Ray. Carl's doing his own, named after Carl. But is it OpenGL still? No Emscripten needed. Okay. How there's a lot of contributors. All right. Okay. Holy shit. I am entering a new world. Okay. So it does init. Makes sense. Has an update, a clear, a draw, a present. Makes sense. All this may ooh. I so okay, so here's the question. Coming from the C++ world, there exists exceptions. And one of the side effects of exceptions is stack unwinding. So if, say, you were like in the middle of drawing here, an exception occurs, you escape this scope. So it's going to unwind the stack, which means shutdown never gets called. So in the world of like C style programming, Zig, Odin, I'm assuming there isn't exceptions. I'm fairly certain exceptions is more of a C++ thing. I do think there are other languages that have exceptions. But in a language like Odin, why would I not be using defer here? Or like in languages that don't have exceptions, why would I use defer? Because in my mind, I would want to use defer after the initialization so that I remember, for one, right? And it's a little easier. Like, this is a very simple example, but in more complex projects, it is not that simple. And you end up with like nested scope and stuff like that because not everyone's going to write perfect code perfect every all the time. So in my head, I would want to defer after the initialization, like immediately, so I don't lose track of all of that. Is there any other reason to do that in Odin? Because I'm surprised I'm not seeing in like an example here from the guy who wrote about Odin that he's not using defer. I'd be curious if anyone knew that. Style choice. Okay, just a style choice. Because you don't like, yeah, because even in like C++, we can technically implement a defer, right? We can use RAII to and a macro or like a const expr template to create a defer type of thing, but we do actually have to like declare it after the initialization in case an exception is thrown because you want that scope exit to occur and actually deallocate any resources you initialize. But I'm assuming because that is not a thing in Odin, this is safe. Makes sense. That makes sense. This is kind of cool. Ooh, I like that. Oh, so you don't have to be explicit with the types, or is it his library? You don't have to. Okay, hang on. I want to try something here. Oh, I don't have the sure, why not? Okay, so Odin is error by values. That makes sense. Um, so according to this example right here, theory, I should be able to do 400 by 100. Okay, 350 by 200. Cool. I didn't think that was working last time, but I probably did it wrong. That seems good. Um. Oh, it the AI changed up some of my code. What did it do? What? Draws a single frame marked C so it can be used directly as the Emscripten main loop callback on the web target. Oh, is this doing the main loop thing? Is this not have the multi-threading async turned on? All right. Well, I'm gonna try and turn the async on and see if that works. I bet it's in here. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's make sure this actually still does what I think it's gonna do. So build web. Oh, wrong spot. / build web. Uh, web build created in a build open index. All right, let's see if this works. Cool. All right, so that works. Oh, but oh man, there's a whole problem here. Oh, Asyncify doesn't play nice with how Raylib handles its event loop. So one of the things I had to do with my C++ project is I had to build Raylib with different flags so that I could control the event loop myself, and that was the only way I could get multi-threaded WebAssembly working. So it's probably not worth trying right now because I don't have access to building Raylib myself. I don't want to have to deal with that. So there's no package manager with Odin. That means if I want to use a version of Raylib that supports multi-threading, I would have to build it myself and provide an Odin wrapper over it, I think. Maybe it would be easier to just use Carl 2D. No automatic casting in Odin, but if a constant isn't explicitly defined as a type, if it's that's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. Coming from the C++ land and all the implicit conversions that can happen, ooh, I think that is one advantage a lot of newer languages have. Now, obviously, with modern C++, there's ways to enforce that. Okay, so let's try this then. Is the API basically the same for... I mean, this makes sense. That's just how that works. So it's clearly defining a step function for the browser to control the rate of update. But with Emscripten, that looks like this. So my confusion is calling this. Okay, so how does this work? If I clone it into my project? Install the Odin compiler. Check. Create a folder for your game. Check. Within your game folder, put the contents of this repo into a subfolder called Carl2D. Okay. Check. Navigate into your game folder using a command prompt and run your game. Okay. So I think I just I don't want to lose this just in case I want to use it. I should have initialized this repo with git. sorry. What programming language do I know? I am a C++ software engineer. So that's kind of my main expertise. Um, a little bit of Python, CMake, of course, a little bit of a sprinkling of other languages that I've had to like make a change to a single file or two over the years. C, um, Java, JavaScript. I would say my experience like C++ by far and away, and then under C++ like all the way down here is probably Python, and then JavaScript is probably like right here under Python. And then everything else is just from like watching YouTube videos or maybe trying a new file, like that kind of thing. Basic. I actually I knew Basic. Basic was the first programming language I learned on the TI graphing calculator, and also the first programming class I ever took. I learned the bubble sort from Basic. Python, like Python's still kind of voodoo magic. I mean, it's simple Python I can read and understand, but when you guys start introducing the fact that like you can index via -1 to I don't remember what it did, but it didn't do what I thought it did. It like took you in the reverse direction or like allowed you to loop back or something. I'm like, what the hell? But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Like it's mostly C++. What was I doing? I wanted to not commit Carl yet. How the hell do you unstage a? Oh wait, it's not a directory though. It's a. All right, whatever. Freaking WSL environment's rough. Screwed something up. Ignoring submodule dot dash dash force dot path, which may be interpreted as command line option dash dash force. Oh. All right. I think we're slowly getting somewhere, I think. Okay. Yeah, darling, I think my assumption is the way Zig works is it probably has Emscripten under the hood, right? I could be wrong, but that would be my guess as to why it would still work with Raylib. Is it probably is like calling into Emscripten anyway. I just think it seems like it's more of a Zig thing than a general like, hey, this is what all the new languages are doing thing. I I don't know why, but I think it might be because Zig a few years ago. When was this? I don't remember when Zig came out, but it was on version. It was whenever they were transitioning from point 11 to point 12 was when I tried Zig out. And it just like it blew my mind because that was like the first new language I've ever tried because I've in my career I've only ever done C++ and most of these other old like scripting languages like Python. And so I started hearing about Zig and I was like, "Oh, what's this all about?" And I pulled in the VS Code extension and it was like, hey, and I created a main.zig file, and it was like, hey, we see you're trying to do Zig. Would you like to install the compiler? Sure. Download. All right. Start typing. Like, hey, would you like to build? Like, yeah. Heck, oh my god. So like the integration's just really nice. I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. And then that's when I was like, oh man, how do I build to these other platforms? Because I'm so used to C++, and just like Odin, I was like, oh man, how do I set up all these compiler tool chains so that Zig works with them? And it's like, oh no, don't worry about it, don't worry about it. We got you. We got you. And it's like, oh, just target. It's like, whoa, this is working. Not only is it working, it's working on Windows. Like I can build for Linux on Windows? What? And so that was like my first taste of learning a newer programming language. And so I think that's where I got it in my head. It's like, oh, there's all these newer programming languages coming out, and they're all freaking awesome doing these cool things. And so I just assumed that they were all doing the same thing. But that might not be true. And part of that might be because maybe Zig's just bigger, like has a bigger community to be able to support all that. I don't know. Well, and okay, so that makes sense. If the creator of Zig is also a C++ person, then he has probably experienced the same pains I experience, at least professionally, where not an insignificant amount of time, especially later in my career, I have spent more time like maybe not writing as much code, but managing other teams and trying to keep those teams productive. And so the last thing I want my developers doing is writing code or scripts that are not portable or having to bang their head against the wall trying to get these development environments up and running, and then each developer like bringing their own way of doing things, that causes problems too. So when I'm running a team, I'm expecting all my developers to kind of adhere to a certain way of doing things so that everything remains like consistent and maintainable for everyone. And that takes a lot of effort. So I totally get the fact that if if the creator of Zig was a C++ person and wanted to try and ease some of that, that makes sense to me. Okay, now that this is committed, I don't feel as bad deleting it, so I can always recover it later. Okay, so if I understand, it should be this easy, right? What do I do again? I already forget how to do this. Build, no, Odin build dot. Hate that it build. Oh my god. that really what you do? Odin run dot. Okay. Odin run dot. I have kind of watched what that was all about. Wait, Zig lost its biggest open source project? I've been keeping up with the fact that oh wait, no, that might be part of it, right? Is it Bun? Didn't Bun get like rewritten from Zig to Rust or something like that? Maybe that's what it was. Ooh, we don't have STB. Compile time panic could not find the compiled STB libraries. It could be compiled by running make-c. What? Wait, does back? Yeah, I don't like this. I'm not having fun anymore. The creator of Odin does not like package managers, so we have to manually do everything ourselves. Is that what's happening here? Okay, let's try that again. That's interesting. I wonder why we didn't need to do that for Raylib. Doesn't Raylib use STB? Am I wrong there? We don't have the right packages installed. I don't remember what the packages are. We need Wayland as well. Hello. We got ourselves a hello. Okay, all right. Forgive my ignorance. Is this just a play on a word hello, or is this an actual like way to say hello in a different language? All right, so WebAssembly. Ooh. So for hello, okay, so we need this version for WebAssembly. I should still be able to run it normally though. Got some kind of errors. Cannot find car 0. Oh, this is audio. That makes sense. I probably don't have audio stuff installed in my Docker file. Like, whatever. Okay. WebAssembly. The web build will end up in the bin with. So what do I need? Odin run, Carl 2D. Oh, so Carl 2D provides their own wrapper for WebAssembly so that it will invoke these functions individually. That easy? Ooh, segmentation fault. That's a problem. Oh, shut down audio backend. Whatever. Odin run Carl 2D slash build web dash dash dot. Oh, this is an Odin thing? Init, step, and shutdown. That's like an Odin. Oops, I needed to delete this. Try that again. Oh. Sounds like I need to read more documentation then. To be fair, Friday I did say I would rather bang my head against the wall trying to figure out why something isn't working than spend less time reading documentation. It is my vice. Um, what's happening here? Web build is in dot slash bin. Oh, it's over here. Hello. We got a hello. All right, guys. That is significantly easier than having to do it myself. So it is totally fair that Odin's job isn't like holding your hand to do everything I would want it to do, like a framework would. I just got it confused with how Zig was doing things. But if I was doing C, I would have to do the exact same thing, right? Otherwise, I would use a framework that would do this for me. And it turns out this Carl guy is apparently freaking awesome and has done a lot of the heavy lifting for us, such that all I had to do was run a single command and it will load this. So that's kind of cool. That's really cool. I think I want to try this on Windows real quick as well. Um, open locally. Let's see what all works on Windows here. So that means I don't need him script him if I just use Carl 2D. Ooh, I do need though. I'll have to test this out later. But I don't think I need any of this anymore. Need- Oh, no, this did install sound, so there's something else going on. Uh, I miss Sublime Text. I used to be able to do some cool stuff. But we probably don't want to do that. What else did I have to do? I had to run. Oh, what did I end up running? Is it STB slash source, something like that? I'll try it out later. Okay. Any extra instructions for Windows? Web build. Spine warning. Oh, that's just telling you to use a web server. On Linux, Mac, you need LLD. It's included with Odin on Windows. I can confirm I have seen that. It might have to be in my path, so I'll have to pay attention to that. To get better in-browser debug symbols, you can add the dash debug when running the build web script. Okay. Yep. Okay, cool. Oh, hot reload. I do want to read up on that, see how they're doing hot reload. That could be really cool. That actually could be really awesome. I love hot reload. All right, my cat is biting my feet, so it's almost time. Oh my god, he's attacking me. Hi, Trill. You want to come up here? Or am I not paying attention to you? Huh? Want to say hi? Want to say hi? Come here. You haven't said hi in a minute, have you? Want to say hi? Yeah. You hungry? Trying to get my attention, aren't you? All right, I'll let you down. Yeah, it's about time. Let's see if I can get this up and running on Windows real quick. My desk is scheduled to arrive July 2nd. So we've still got like, oh god, it's already the 20th. About a week and a half. So maybe not next weekend, but maybe the weekend after, if my desk gets in, I'll try and get all that set up. I'll have a third monitor. I'll have my drawing tab. We'll be able to do all kinds of stuff. And then if I can get Trill to sit in that chair, I'll see if I can get a webcam set up for him as well. Okay, so Odin run Carl 2D build web. Is that it? This is just like a completely different way of doing stuff. I'm so used to CMake and having like, I mean, even Make honestly, but having like a top level thing script that manages the entire project that is cross platform. Um, I totally get from the perspective of, yeah, you don't need Make, just write a shell script or write a batch script, and then Odin will do everything else for you. So Odin clearly has like that built into it. It just doesn't have the cross-platform piece, but that's okay because clearly someone else like Carl here is able to build you those scripts for you, which is cool. So I would honestly want to see how Carl is doing this, which it's probably just a batch script, I'm guessing. What are we doing? We're calling build web. Oh, I'd have to. Okay, so I'd have to parse and see how Carl's doing this because this isn't a script. So there might be a better way to do this, which would be huge. And it seems like this Carl guy knows what he's talking about. Okay, so that built the web. Actually, I don't want to cheat because this came from the Linux build. So let's delete that. Try it one more time. I mean, this should be exactly the same. It's literally WebAssembly in a browser. There's nothing like Windows or Linux specific about it. Except I don't have my show. Oh. Am I crazy? Where's my show preview? Do I not have the extension? I sure don't. Hello? We got a hello. Pretty cool. And a Windows executable for good measure. So does Carl2D provide other ways to build, or is it just for web? Okay, looks like I just need to run it myself. Okay, so Odin run dot. All right, we got a hello. Hello. Ooh, I can't resize. Why can't I resize? Nope, I don't like that. Nope, we got to fix that. How do you resize? Options, init options. All right, let's see if I can do this without looking up how to assign variables. Okay. Options. Oh. This could be wrong though. AI is trying to autocomplete and sabotage me. This could be wrong. It takes a width, a height, a window title, options. So none of that comes here. So what actually goes into options? Can I go to definition? What? No. No. What? Okay, that works. Options is type init. Oh no. Is this another bitmask situation? No. How do you It's a struct. Oh, I haven't dealt with a struct yet. Window mode. This is what I need. Oh, it doesn't have a lot of options, does it? It's just an enum. Okay, so this is what I need. So I bet. Okay. Window mode. Okay, I got this. I can do this. I can do this. First try. I'm gonna first try this. Init options allocator. Ooh, do I have to specify an allocator if I? No, it's the last. No, after the title. Okay. Boom. How did it work? Dot window window mode, or no, wait, is this allowed? I forget if Odin doesn't do this, does it? I have to just do this. Crap. I thought this would work. I already forget how to do it. I'm panicking. I'm panicking. Wait a minute. No, I can do this. I can do this. No one tell me anything. I'm not looking. Okay, so the enum type is window mode. So it's window mode equals, and then in parentheses. Wait a minute. Window mode. Is it just window mode equals? Oh, wait. Is it literally just. No, I already tried this, didn't I? Too few values in the structure level. Expected 3 got. Oh, you have to define the other ones. Anti-alias. Okay. Anti-alias. False. Um, disable auto scale hint. Okay, I got there. Whew, I got there, guys. So now I should be able to resize. Oh, it didn't work. I got so excited, I grabbed the wrong flag. Okay, we can resize. Woo! Hello? Oh my god, my eyes! Ah! I apologize. I still don't know what these temporary core files are, and I don't like that they end up here. Bash that. We need to ignore. All right, that was an adventure. So Odin is interesting. Odin seems to be now. Obviously, we haven't really written much yet. It's mostly been copy and paste. Um, but something I observed was in that init function, it accepted an allocator, but I didn't have to manually like define my own allocator, which is awesome. That's one thing I don't like, or I remember not liking about Zig, which I think makes it so verbose, is everything is visible to you. So even the allocators you have to like instantiate and then pass around, and then that means any code you write that you want to allocate with has to handle being accepting an allocator to be passed around. And so you end up in this situation where you're like passing these allocators around all over the place. Um, so it is nice, for, at least at first glance, that I don't have to do that with Odin. Odin isn't as what I thought to be batteries included as I thought it was going to be. Batteries included, as in it does provide you with some vendor APIs, but it's still on you to make sure you have the dependencies you need in order to use those libraries for different build configurations. It didn't include everything. It didn't hold your hand, so it's very much more like C, C++, or honestly any like standard coding language, right? um, which is fine. Just not what I initially thought I was going into when starting Odin. Um, the syntax is very, very easy to read and understand. I have not had any issues like being able to read the code. Yeah, now, obviously, the syntax takes a little bit for me to get used to, just because I'm not like used to how it does type deduction and type inference, that kind of thing. So I'll have to get the hang of that. Um, But the fact that it runs in web pretty quickly, especially once I just was it Silence? I forget who was recommending the Carl guy. It might have been a guy from YouTube. Ow, this cat just bit me. Ow! Hey, I'm almost done. Just relax. But whoever recommended the Carl guy, the AI obviously found him pretty quickly, probably for good measure or good reason. Apparently, he's like the Odin guy. So I'll definitely want to dig into and explore his Carl 2D code base just to see how a larger project is managed. So that's kind of cool. Not a fan of needing to write my own scripts per se, my own non cross platform scripts. I mean, like, at the end of the day, if you're writing a script either way, whether it's shell, batch, or CMake, Python, what have you, uh, I just would have preferred something a little bit more cross platform and opinionated. I think maybe that's my issue. I think I wanted a more opinionated cross platform way to automatically like configure and build your projects. Not a big deal. It seems like, especially if someone like Carl can provide you a way to do it that you can just like copy and paste from, that's fine. I'm not gonna cry too much about that. Once we got rid of the Emscripten dependency, WebAssembly became like that. It didn't come out of the box with Odin, but someone else basically made it come out of the box, which is really cool. I would say with like C, C++, it's still probably a little bit more involved trying to get all that stuff up and running, right? And it's only quick for me because I've had significant time doing it. We got this pretty much up and running within a day. Now, obviously, I had some AI help, which goes a long way. Gone are the days that I need to ask Stack Overflow, wait a couple of weeks to get made fun of, and then never get my question answered. So that was kind of nice. Ran out of space compiling Unreal 400 gigabytes free. Oh my gosh. I can't tell you guys how many times I've ran into issues like that. Holy crap. Yeah, it's like you spend all day and I'm not talking like on the side. I'm talking at work. You're spending all day trying to get something built and you have a deadline and you're sitting there and you're waiting for this thing to build on a slow ass machine because you're not in charge of the types of computers that are given to you, and so you're doing the best you can with what you got, and then like 3 hours in, 4 hours in, you run out of hard drive space, but your deadline is tomorrow. What do you do? Literally, what do you do? That's the type of problems I typically like have to solve and be good at solving, right? And honestly, the answer is you stay and work and you start compressing things and you delete intermediate files while you're in the middle of the build. Hopefully, you don't delete the intermediate files that are still needed. Oh man, I don't miss those days. Yeah, Odin seemed okay from the build's perspective. I'm sure it's part of that is something to do with whatever those core files are. I have to assume it's like some kind of intermediate build where it can like, I don't know, cache binary or object files and then you only rebuild what you need to. I'm not sure. I'd have to look and see exactly what Odin's doing, but I have to assume that's part of it. I don't like that um, Odin builds into my source directory because that's where I'm running it. But I mean, to be fair, that's exactly how GCC, Clang, that's how all those tools work. It's just I'm so used to using CMake to drive them to specify, like to put them in a build folder. So I basically am going to have to write up a shell file and a batch file to do that for me, it sounds like. Unless I find a way that Carl does it. If Carl has a better way to do it, then I would prefer to do it his way. Oh, Odin doesn't do that. Okay, I don't know what these core files are that keep showing up in my directory. Then I'll have to smarten myself about that. Yeah. Yeah, no, it seems pretty quick. I think that's the benefit of how the language is designed, right? Being able to parse the files quickly. Because I know, like, one of the things that slows down C++ is how, like, it's hard to describe because I was just reading about this. But because C++, your variables, your types are typically declared on the left side, then there's a lot of data the compiler has to keep in memory and backtrack on in order to figure out what all these types are and whether like a template is a template versus a variable is greater than a value kind of thing. So there's a lot of extra work the compiler's doing to account for all of that. And for a simpler language like Odin, where you don't have all that extra stuff, you're able to define the language to be compiler parsing efficient, and so I would assume that is where it gets a lot of its benefit from, is being able to just quickly read through all of this code. Because like the Carl 2D project itself is massive, but if I'm only importing certain pieces of it, well then it's not building an entire like library package for me to link against. It can just pull in the files I'm importing and only build those. So that's kind of cool. Yeah, Carl had the build web Odin builder. That was really nice. That made things a lot easier. Once we had that, like all of my WebAssembly problems went away. So that was pretty cool. Um, I might still tinker with Odin some more. Didn't really get to write too much code today, so I would like to explore the code itself. I still want to get some like GitHub pipelines up and running, automated. Now that I have the Docker file, that's really the hard part, because then I can just have GitHub use that Docker file to, or the Docker image, or use the Docker file to build a Docker image, and then use that Docker image to run through the pipelines to build everything. So that'll make things easier because I'll push this up, make it open source. I mean, I'm not really planning on doing too much with this. I don't think. Question mark. Um, I was also interested in looking at that Odin HTTP dependent that HTTP package, because maybe I can use this to talk to Twitch. I don't know if it'll do authentication or not, so I'll have to see if there's like OAuth with it, or if there's another Odin package that does the authentication. Um, if I can do that, then maybe I can start like grabbing chat messages, and then maybe come up with a simple algorithm that like gathers the data to create a controller from chat, and then we can interact with each other via a game or an app or something like that. I definitely want to do something like that with Briarthorn. So look forward to that. Probably not going to be on tomorrow. Tomorrow, I believe, is Father's Day, so I'll probably be doing Father's Day stuff with my dad. And then Monday, I hope to be back, and hopefully, I'll have my freaking WebAssembly stuff built and ready for QT and Briarthorn. And then we'll look into seeing if we can get Briarthorn launching in a web in preparation for providing a demo on my website. So hopefully, I can do that. We very well might need WebSockets. Yes, I'll have to see. All right, guys. Thank you for hanging out with me. Thanks for the help and support as I struggled through trying to figure out how to manage a an Odin project for the first time. Hopefully, we'll continue to learn a little bit more about this. So far, I don't really have any complaints with the language itself. I think I had more expectations for what I thought it was going to do for me versus what I had to do myself, and that got corrected today. And now that I've got a better idea of what to do, this should be a little bit smoother going forward. and we shall see where we get. So thank you guys. See ya. Bye.